Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tavern. It's time for another Tavern Tale with me, the Dapper Bard. Today, we're looking at the Zodiac sign of Libra. Libra is an interesting one. Not only is it the midpoint of the Zodiac, but it is also a symbol that has existed since ancient Babylon. More than that, in astrology, Libra is the only symbol that isn't a person or an animal or anything like that. It's literally a set of scales. So, prologue aside, let's get into some of the astrology about this sign. Libras are wind signs, which means they are very active, and they usually show this through being very social. This social energy is shown through their desire to help, their love of fairness, their avoidance of conflict, keeping the peace, being compassionate and diplomatic, and of course, loving the pleasures of life, luxury, and being in a calm, happy environment. On the negative side of things, the Libra can be afraid to rock the boat. They can feel guilty about their own emotions. They can wear themselves out trying to help people and generally feel bad if they can't. They get uncomfortable if things aren't the way they like them or if things aren't very peaceful. They can be indecisive, and while they do love luxury and the joys of life, they can often overindulge. Libras are definitely the kind of people who need to be around positive people. They like to help, they like to really work things out, and if things get negative and toxic and stressful, they can even get to the point of being very self-destructive. So for any Libras out there, please make sure to keep yourself around as many positive people as possible. Try to keep positive things in your mind, and most importantly, don't overindulge. Doing that is just harmful to the self. And remember, helping is a good thing, even if you don't get thanks for it, because you're still making a positive impact on someone and you never know when that's going to pay off. I guess that's the best advice I can give. Honestly, when you're a people pleaser type person, it's difficult to really give you advice that's going to be constructive, because either you're going to be able to help someone who will very much appreciate it, or you're going to try to help someone who's a pain and makes your life difficult and makes you miserable. Keep that in mind when trying to be social. There are people out there who are jerks. Try to avoid them. But that's enough astrology for today. Let's get into the mythology. Our mythology isn't really a story, and that's primarily because the scales represent the scales of Themis, goddess of justice. Technically a bit more than just justice, as she is the goddess of justice, fairness, divine law, order, and culture. She is one of the earliest goddesses and Zeus's first wife in most stories. She is the daughter of Gaia, the earth, and Uranus, the heavens, thus gaining that kind of power that makes her more unique amongst the gods. Now, last time when I was talking about Virgo, I referenced Astraea, and Astraea is also a goddess of justice. Where these two separate is that Themis is more like the gods' justice, spiritual justice, the balance and order of how the universe works, while Astraea is man's justice. She is the justice of humanity. She is what is correct, what is right, what is wrong, from the perspective of a ethical construct versus a more spiritual construct, if that makes any sense. It is hard to disambiguate these two goddesses, but they both represent different aspects of the same overarching concept. Unfortunately for Themis, she tends to be a minor player in most stories. While she is the mother of the fates, she's also the mother of the seasons, which isn't just the seasons as we know them, but think of it more like order, the flow of time, the rotation of the planets, the physical and Newtonian laws that control a lot of how the universe functions. So it's on a greater level than just spring and summer. We're talking about literally the laws of nature, gravity, things like that. She was also the one who tended to bring the gods together when they needed to have a council about something very major or important, such as when Earth was becoming corrupt or the battle of the gods versus the Titans. She also has a connection to the Oracle at Delphi, one of the greatest seers of all of Greek mythology, and helped guide the Oracle until she handed this responsibility over to Apollo for vague reasons. Sometimes it was a gift Other times, it is believed because Apollo is the god of the sun and watching over humans at all times, that responsibility for the oracle should fall under his purview. It's really unclear as to why she would hand over this authority to a different god. One final note, Themis, the goddess of justice, has become the general image of Lady Justice in the modern age. Thus, even though she didn't have any major stories to her name, she still had a large enough impact to remain an image that represents one of the most important virtues we have: justice. So yeah, no interesting story, no monster slaying, no grand, end of the world scenarios. Instead, we get a symbol representing a goddess whose importance is incredibly deep, but whose stories are very few. It's almost as if she preferred to be the background character, that her manipulative hand in events was enough. She didn't need to be the star of the show, she needed to just help things along, which in a weird way sounds like the traits dedicated to this sign. That's odd. Thank you for watching. I do hope you've learned a lot in this video about your friends, family members, or even yourself, if you are indeed a Libra. And learning about one of the lesser gods who had great importance in how the universe functions is always interesting too, because unfortunately not every Zodiac sign can be some grand adventure starring a Greek hero slaying a powerful monster. But don't worry, our next one does feature a Greek hero slaying a powerful monster. So you will get your action story next time, I promise. Until then, please let me know in the comments what story you would like me to cover next. And until that day comes, I'm the Dapper Bard, and I'll see you at the tavern.